Guys good?
Braden, with the loss of Avery, do you feel a sense of responsibility to be the leader of the wide receiving corps?
I'm not going to go as far to say that just because, Avery and I have a much different respect within the locker room, and that's not slating myself. That's just the respect towards him. I mean, he's been through a lot more hurdles than myself, and he'll still, he's still going to be that dude. But as far as from experience goes and just, being one of the older dudes, actually maybe now the oldest, I've definitely tried to, step up more vocally, kind of be like a hand to reach out to some of the young dudes, even more so than that. So I guess I've stepped up a bit, but I don't know if I'll ever completely fill that leadership role necessarily as Avery, because that's not just captain, but I think in a lot of people's eyes, that's at least on the offensive side of the ball, that's the captain. It's the whole situation is pretty devastating. Just especially now I've gotten even closer with him. Recently, even more so than I had been in the past. So it's a really tough situation, but I got a lot of love for him.
Take us in the fall camp, the competition at the wide receiving corps, and what has Chancey brought to help elevate your game?
Coach Stuck, he's been great. I mean, from a technical standpoint, I feel much more developed. There's a lot of plays that seemed a lot more difficult in the past that just make a lot more sense now, and understanding defenses and how I should run a route and when I should and should not use my speed and things of that sort. Been a tremendous help, and just the whole culture of the room seems very bought into what he's brought, and it's paid off. I mean, although low in numbers, I can't remember a camp where we felt this dominant at receiver. I know for myself, I've never played this well, and I credit a lot of that to the coaches, and to be selfish myself, just I think this offseason buying in even more than I had in the past, and really just kind of laying it all out for one last year.
Outside of your speed, I guess what aspect of your game are you kind of the most confident in heading into the full season?
Well, this is the fastest I've ever felt, so I'm always going to feel the most confident in my speed. More than anything, I feel most confident in kind of my release packages more so now than the past. I want press that plays to my advantage, and being able to be technical at the line, and then being able to use my speed. It's a huge advantage to myself. It's not something that I've had in my arsenal as much in the past, whether it be my legs or my arms, whatever the issue is, or whether it be just lack of overall technique. But now, I feel that playing at the line of scrimmage with the DB plays to my advantage, because if I beat him at the line, I feel very few, if any, can run with me.
And then you've seen several quarterbacks come through here since you got here. What impresses you about Tyler Buckner's game so far?
I mean, the obvious answer would be his running, but I think more so than that, there's just times he'll, make a throw or choose to go to the option, 2 or 3 or 4 when you're thinking it's going to someone. It's just a play you kind of like, when you look at quarterbacks on TV, you're like, dang, like how do you make that throw, or like how do you see that, like just kind of being in practice and like being a receiver, like I'm like, oh, like it's coming to me, then it gets thrown to someone who never gets the ball on that play, and you're like, dang, like how do you make that throw? How do you even think of that? So I'd say just his overall playmaking ability is just insane. I think he brings a very dynamic element to the offense, and I'm really excited to see him this year.
And then what can Joe Wilkins bring to the receiving corps once he comes back?
He'll bring some meanness for sure. I mean, especially low in numbers, a smaller group than we've been in the past. He kind of brings that big dog presence, with his words and his actions. I'm excited for him to be back. He's going to be a very dependable and strong playmaker for us, and I think that's someone who we could we'll really need this year.
Braden, you say that this is the most confident you felt the best camp you've had. Given that, what are your expectations for yourself this season?
I'm not gonna put anything out like that, but I just want us to win a lot of games, all of them, and I just want to help the team out any way I can. And I think becoming a dependable receiver, that's my goal. Not just to be a speed guy, but I want to be able to do everything, and just my strength happens to be speed.
What goes into being dependable? for you?
Yeah, I mean, showing up to practice every day. I mean, a lot of the time I get, a lot of the times in the past I've been hurt. I haven't missed, practice in well over a year now, or not well over, like a year. And just showing up every day and, being a speed guy, has been an issue in the past. And I feel like I have, a good routine now to stay healthy and be on it. And yeah, I mean, making a lot of big plays. That's what comes with being a receiver, and that's the expectation I have for myself, and that's what the expectation Stuckey has for us. Although low in numbers, I see us only improving and taking advantage and building on what we did last year.
We'll take one question from Zoom. Andrew Mentok, you're on now.
What up?
Hey, how are you doing? I was just wondering if you mentioned that you were confident against the press. I wonder what specific technical changes you made, whether that's just using your hands at the line of scrimmage or reading the DB ahead of time. Just kind of wondering if you could go into some of those details.
Yeah, I'd say two things. You mentioned one, recognizing coverage quicker, a lot more eye recognition between going back and forth, whether it be the corner and safety, kind of seeing where the safety is on the hash, how deep is he, getting a feel for where he could be going, allows me kind of some clues as to what the corner might be doing at the line of scrimmage. And two, just really working just the technical aspects, whether it be your just your footwork at the line of scrimmage, and just having a release package and knowing not just being able to do it, but knowing which release to use versus which coverage or which leverage. It's not that I was going in blind last year, but kind of building on kind of what I had already known and improving my intelligence as far as the receiver goes.
All right, good.
No, thank you guys.